still is springtime in Vancouver, and I'm on my way to my friend's house. And the best way to get there is along the seawall here in the downtown area. And this bicycle trail, I forget how many kilometers it goes for, but it's a lot. And it is spectacular. And those of us that aren't using it a lot should be actually disappointed in ourselves, because this is world class. Another stop along the way, little green space that is a lot of the people live down here in the condos and whatnot. That's their front yard. It's really beautiful down here. This is part of the trip as well. Good afternoon. Good Monday afternoon. It's a holiday here in Canada, or in British Columbia. Beautiful day, much more seasonable temperatures than it has been. And I'm gonna go in and see what happens today. Somehow I feel as though not much is gonna happen on those two pieces back there. You can kind of see them. I'm working on some sculptures for my nephews. However, anytime I get to spend in my precious little studio is sacred to me. I love this space. Not a bad temperature to be working. Yes. Yeah, it's actually been a couple of days since I spent any time out here in my shop. The weekend I was up to a few other things. And to be honest with you, it was mainly leisure and pleasure and social. I had a couple of barbecues with some friends, and there was good food had, there was good company shared, and good conversation exchanged. So that's important too. In life is to have your, a community of people around you that, is able to listen to what you're thinking and saying, has the ability to hear you out, hear some opinions, and then, have a very good two-sided, or however many people there are sided, conversation and dialogue. And it's healthy. That's what we've been doing. That's what I've been doing on the weekend. And sounds simple, but in today's environment, lots of people are not finding it simple. Okay, now getting into these sculptures, I'm still not exactly 100% in sculpture mode. I'm still kind of in the rough phases of just kind of shaping these things. And you know, if this is the first time you've ever tuned in to me, I'm working on 2 sculptures here. One of them is for my nephew named Campbell, his last name Cassidy. I call him CC, so you see there's 2 C's in there. And then my other nephew Luke, I call him Lucky. And this one will be shaped like an L. This piece will be, how do I have that? Going in somehow like this, somewhere, you know, up there. I'm gonna have it like a cursive L. And both of these sculptures will be a gift, as both of these fine young gentlemen are graduating from high school this year. I will be a little bit late with my gifts, as I fell a little bit behind. And they're going to be like, you know, little compartments, little hooks, little shelves for, I call it like a phone wallet keys holder. And I'm just going to kind of plug away again today a little bit with my angle grinder. If you can see that vehicle that's parked behind me, that's Brent. He's a carpenter that's working on a fence next to me, so I don't necessarily want a bunch of dust blowing in his direction, but he said go for it. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. And you know, once I start to do that, different sorts of motivation tend to happen. So as I get more comfortable in here, I'll be looking at my pieces and figuring out which direction they're going to take, because I really haven't been in the mind to do that yet. I'm still just getting the basic shapes down and thinking about getting the bases flat and level, and to do things like that. But once I start to get into the finishing aspects, you know, and I'm in the right mindset, it's an evening or something, I'm relaxed, I'm looking at things, I'm listening to the right music, you know, that's when I start to, the creative visions and ideas start to come. That's my process anyway. That music is from Tom Petty album. I think it's from like 83 or something like that. The song was called Something Big, and I like the lyric. It says, "It wasn't no way to carry on, it wasn't no way to live. I could put up with it for a little while because I was working on something big." So I am, you see that little space right there? So I'm still not perfect. Doesn't look too bad along there. But see, to get this perfectly flat, I got that point of contact right there. I see a little gap, and then that's okay under there. Then I have another point of contact right there. And then under there it looks all nice and tight, so there's just a little bit of shaving. I'm doing that with a planer, and I'm also running that grinder along the bottom, and in the meantime I'm smoothing out the whole, I'm going to get all these out of here, all that, have that nice and smooth, so I'm going to kind of work away and try to get that flat. Alright, let's see how that looks. It's just a real process of just little bit by little bit. And I don't have like all these big tools like a beautiful bandsaw or something with any length. You know, I could run a chainsaw down through it, but I almost got it and I just gotta work away. See, that looks, there's just still a little jiggle right there. See that? I don't like that. Okay. I think I gotta take some off this. Just a process, folks, just a process. Always so awkward when you're using kind of these shapes. There goes my neighbors. Oh, that looks not bad. But it's still, no, it's still not good. See, this is when you just wish that I had a proper studio, proper shop. I could lock this piece in, and but what else has to, I'm gonna just keep playing away here. I hope I'm getting closer. I hope I'm not going backwards here. It seems to be sturdier, but I'm still seeing gaps that I don't like. Yeah, I don't know how to alleviate that. It's not too bad, but I'm gonna keep playing away here, see how close I can get. So I did a little bit more polishing off on this piece today. There's a lot to do, and I just am in that kind of scene. This is what the table looks like. A few tools out here. I was using some power tools. I was just kind of cleaning this hole out a little bit more, seeing where that leads me to. There's a little bit of rot in there. As I showed you, I got the base pretty flat today, so that was a big move. And then I was doing some sanding all along in these crevices here and trying to get it to a smoothness, little bit by little bit. And yeah, I'm okay with that today. A little bit of work here in the studio. Feels good. I was just going through some of my old notes. I think I'm going to share some in a few minutes. Oh, I need a pen or a pencil. I find it hard to think without a writing utensil in my hand when I have a book. Or I have a book of notes or whatever. You know, I like having a pencil. I'm sporting my Rain Dogs chapeau. This is the secondary Rain Dogs hat. We usually wear red jerseys and black hats. There are a set of black jerseys, and I think for a couple of years the boys did some red hats and looked pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just going through my notebook again, as I've done a few times. And to be honest with you, doing so and just kind of getting it out there, and you know, I think that the information I'm reading is trying to be quite fair. Oh, just a sec, I was just reading a text message that Lemieux sent me. I'm going to stop this right now and read that, and then I'll get back to it. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I was kind of coordinating a driving situation, so she had just gotten in touch with me. So Martin, these are little puppies. Okay, here's something I had written down in my in this books a couple years ago, and I don't know who said this. Maybe I did, but I don't think so. It just says, "I'm not sure what we do for people who have been led to imagine that they're entitled not to suffer, and therefore when they do suffer, it's crippling. The fact is, there is a certain amount of suffering, and you got to be able to endure it." And anybody that's lived any amount of time on this earth knows that to be true, like instinctively. It is not an easy thing to do to prepare people for the ups and downs of life, because there's going to be downs, there's going to be loss, there's going to be suffering, there's going to be failures, there's going to be all of these things, trying to figure out who you are, what to do, etc., etc. And it's it's a slippery course oftentimes to navigate. And are we doing anybody a favor by protecting them from any sort of offense, being offended or anything like this? There's, I heard lots of answers to the whole being offended thing, and I remember Stephen Fry said one time, "You're offended, so what?" And he did drop an F-bomb in there in his suave, beautiful way. Yeah, I mean, that's an endless game. People can be offended over anything, and we have to, to be capable of not letting that impact our lives, right? Try to listen to the person, understand why they would say it, and realize it has nothing to do with you. So I had that point written in there. I like that. Hypothesis versus theory. A lot of us throw out the word theory, and what we really mean is hypothesis. I just kind of was educated in that. I'm just learning about that, No big deal, but I just thought it was worth taking a note. What other notes do I have in here? Here's something. Again, I don't know. Oh, here's something that Anton Chekhov said, the great Russian writer. There isn't a Monday that would not cede its place to Tuesday. And I have a note here. I don't know who wrote this either. And I'm trying to guess what I'm speaking about here. It says, they were intended to make sure that the pupil understood his or her own opinion and, in brackets, by necessary correlation, bracket, the opinion opposed to it, and could enforce the grounds of the one and confute those of the other. And basically learn both sides of something before you start shooting your mouth off. I've been guilty of doing that so many times when I was younger, and some people instinctively know how to do that. Other people have to learn. I'm one of those people that have to learn and continues to learn, to listen to the other side, not to judge too quickly. Realize that most people's viewpoint of something is usually not accurate. Like, that's including ourselves. Like, there's so much going on, and we think we have an idea, and it seems as though we really don't. Here's one. When the conflicting doctrines, instead of being one true and the other false, share the truth between them, and the non-conforming opinion is needed to supply the remainder of the truth, of which the received doctrine embodies only a part. Yeah, why did I not write down who wrote that? Unless opinions favorable to democracy and to aristocracy, to property and to equality, to cooperation and to competition, to luxury and to abstinence, to sociality and individuality, to liberty and discipline, and all of the other standing antagonisms of practical life are expressed with equal freedom and enforced and defended with equal talent and energy, there is no chance of both elements obtaining their due. One scale is sure to go up and the other down. Okay, one more page maybe, and then I'm going to call her a day. What now? Movie idea. Religion, quilt. To converse, it seems simple when one is sitting.
No, I sort of tried it. Yeah, but I mean, so you have to dig a bigger hole.
In the time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. The imagination, like curtain wild animals. The imagination, like certain wild animals, will not breed in captivity. You know, are we losing a lot of creativity in our society? This is a question that I keep coming to and I keep kind of seeing, right? Like, a friend of mine just, there's a nice little dog bark. I think that's a basset hound over there. And it's a great little bark. Yeah, that's the basset hound. Debbie. Where was I here? Oh, the creativity in our society. It's like a friend of mine just sent me an article on coffee shops, and he said they're all turning into the same thing. And I've been kind of noticing that for a while. It's very rare that you walk into a place that's the actual individual product of somebody, you know, like, you know, running into a mom and pop shop where they're running the show is very preferable to me. I try to find those places in Vancouver. I was at the butcher today, and that place is as community oriented as one could ever hope for in the city of Vancouver. They're friendly, they know the names, they're helpful, they're pleasant, they talk hockey, they'll talk whatever, and they're always smiling, and it's a really good old school community feel. And I actually told the owner that today. I was the only one in there. I got like 4 slabs of bacon, 18 eggs, and some slices of cheese, and they're just good deals, and it just feels cool in there. But yeah, the creativity, like, this is what I try to do in my studio here, and I'm always looking for those young men in society that are knowing there's something wrong kind of going on with whatever's being pushed onto society in many ways. They want to start to discover for themselves the use, you know, getting to use your hands, breathing some fresh air, talking for real, interacting with people, creating an amazing gift that you're going to give to somebody that's important to you in your life. It's a very therapeutic process. It feels very good. So that's one of my angles here, is for a guy to come in. We do a sculpture together. There's a conversation going on, and the service that I provide is that we're gonna create a quality piece of art that will be given to somebody in their life. It's a gift-giving exercise. And it's the best, you know what I mean? You making something for somebody else, and then giving it to them. That's the best exchange. And you know, one more point. I was at a friend of mine's barbecue on Saturday night. It was great. It was very comfortable. Lots of people in their 40s, 50s, talking about things and keeping it real. And everybody was kind of independent, doing their own thing, able to use their hands, able to be industrious, and you know, it's kind of survival mode for a lot of people. And I witnessed a couple that I had just met give a gift to the hosts, who were my friends. And there was a big story behind it, and it was a homemade pottery with a face on it or something, and I didn't get the gist of the story, but I could see how valuable it was and how important the gift giving was in that situation. And you know, thinking about somebody deeply and giving them a gift like that, as opposed to just a gift card. You know, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with a gift card, but you know what I mean. So that's what we do here. Should I read one more? Yeah, why not? There's a photo of something I had drawn out, you know, twisted log, couple of cool branches coming off, a pot on top for flowers. Oh, I have a t-shirt there. See that t-shirt? On it, it says, Halahache Bunmei. This was for like a Japanese kind of project. And Halahache Bunmei, I think, means 80%. And Japanese people say that, and it's like eat 80% of what your capacity is, and you will be satiated. And I just thought that was a great thing. Okay, what do I got? One more. Yeah, here I like this one. This comes from a guy named Stephen Tomlinson. I don't really know who that is. But I have his name written down here. And he says, if you love different things, you just keep spending time with them. Let them talk to each other, and something will begin to happen. And I keep hearing that as well. Like, you know, if you only allow yourself to go down this one avenue and not explore your interests and try to combine them in some way with your life, it could be not the best angle, keeping to just that one specific talent. And you can probably see around you, if you just look around, the people that do find themselves in kind of good positions and like the successful leaders and stuff like that usually are able to tie a few things together, of course. Now, what do we got here? Mother-father relation, dexterity and tool use, language, self-conscious. Chesterton's fence. Chesterton's fence. I'll talk about what's Chesterton's fence? That's a good one. Like I don't have the actual thing here. I think it comes from, I think it's A.K. Chesterton. I can't believe I don't remember that, but I think so. Philosopher kind of guy. I think he was theologian. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But the concept, basically, I can sum it up. The concept basically says you walk along, a couple of guys are walking along and they see or gals, okay, why not? And then you see an old fence, and it's all ready to be ripped down. It's just old and ragged and stuff like that. And a lot of people's instinct is rip it down, without just because it looks like it should be ripped down. And then the wisdom in Chesterton's fence would say, don't tear anything down until you understand why it's there. And that is the perfect metaphor for I would say at any era, for somebody navigating their life. Wisdom tells you just learn about things before, there's unforeseen problems that are going to arise, and with so many mistakes have been made before. So put it this way, at that barbecue the other night, we were talking about a lot of the things that we see in society that are just going too far. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. These sculptures are going to come back to me on another day. Maybe a little bit. No, tomorrow I got a ball game. So if I'm working and there's a ball game, no chance. Wednesday I do have free from the ball anyhow. So maybe on a Wednesday I'll get back over here. But anyhow, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. What am I doing here on YouTube? Again, it's been therapeutic for me. It's been excellent. I'm trying to, as I said, my number one goal was to, how do I gain clients that want to work with with the services that I provide. And that's creative carpentry jobs, or just basic carpentry jobs as well. Like that's how I am trained. A mentoring service where young guys come in. We do a sculpture project together of quality. It is long, you know, it's going to take many sessions to do it, and it is going to be a gift for somebody in their life that deserves a gift from them. And then also just my own sculptures. So if you're ever looking, I just kind of did a trophy for a Little League championship that's happening actually in a few hours. The final game starts. So I was contemplating whether or not I walk over there, or sorry, drive over there and take a video from afar. I don't want to put kids on YouTube or anything like that. So that is what I'm doing, is trying to get attention. You know, hopefully I can get some jobs and some little gigs that are more in tune with what I'm doing at my Cowlick Combs studio. And so that's one of my goals. And then another goal, it wasn't my goal, but it turned into a benefit that I was not expecting, and that is, it just has been feeling good to articulate and show a process and start to share my work. Like I had a lot of it backed up, and there's a lot more to kind of come and to kind of share what I'm trying to do here, what I am doing, not trying, I am doing it for a long time. So the rant, ladies and gentlemen, is coming to an end, and you know, yeah, maybe these are too long, but it's just kind of what I'm doing right now. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for hanging out once again. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy birthday, and talk to you most likely on Wednesday.